Hey guys, so I think I'm actually gonna make the autistic mommy vlog just a thing, and I'm just gonna cover my motherhood journey because I was already kind of doing that with my pregnancy journey before. Um, so today we realized that he had grown out of the little bassinet attachment on his crib, and now it's time for him to just be in his crib, the main part. Yeah, he doesn't like it. Or he didn't like it. Oh, man. And once again, I'm uploading this pretty much without editing it. I mean, the pauses are because I'm able to pause while recording. I'm doing this on my phone. And trying not to be too emotional, trying to gather my thoughts and everything, but I'm exhausted. Today I got to do a little bit of manual labor at work, so I wasn't just, I didn't have to use my brain too much, which I really like, but then I go up and down a couple flights of stairs to even get to work and from work, so, by the time I walk in the door at home, I'm just so tired, and then the baby wants to, be cuddled a whole lot, which is great. I love cuddling him. I love singing to him. When he was first born, his first month of life he spent in the hospital because of his heart defect, and I didn't spend a whole lot of time with him. For the most part, the idea of being a mother was just so surreal to me that I just didn't really connect that well. Like, I'd go and I'd hold him and I'd read to him and I'd sing to him like a little bit, but not as much as I do now. Now, whenever I hear him crying, I'm compelled to go and find some way to soothe him. And part of it is making up for lost time, and part of it is because I want him to create a secure attachment and not feel like he can't trust us to meet his needs, because the way that children form attachments is that the more their parents are there for them at the very beginning of their life, the more they'll trust their parents to be there for them later, and the less likely they are to develop attachment issues or abandonment issues or whatever. And Loki has stated that he wants to break a certain generational cycle on his side of the family, wherein the birth mothers somehow become unable, like in various different ways, have become unable to raise their children as children. And my mother was also unable to raise me. And honestly, I feel like making that decision was very mature of her. Like, she did the right thing, because I would rather that she realize that she didn't actually want a family and then leave, rather than force herself to stay and then, lord it over me or whatever, become toxic. So, but I have every intention of staying and being there for my child. I love my baby so, so much, and it's so, it's exhausting. Like, people who don't have kids make fun of moms for saying that having kids is exhausting, but it really is. And that's not to invalidate anyone who's child-free and always tired, because, there's various different parts of life that can make people tired. I know that, obviously, and I haven't lost sight of that. One thing I do want to mention is that having a kid does change your brain chemistry a bit. So, we have neighbors who have kids too, and a year ago, it would have been completely intolerable. I would not have been able to stand the, kids when they're in a bad mood screaming, or when they're in a good mood screaming outside. Kids just like to scream. I don't know what to tell you, but I had a hard time tolerating that before. And now that I have a kid of my own, it's like, oh, well, he or she is obviously having a bad day, or, whatever. Is that ours? I don't think so. Okay, good, thank God. you know, um, so now, like, if I hear a crying baby, my first instinct, rather than to be annoyed at it, is to try to help it. And so that's a little bit different. There's a stereotype about autistic people, that people with autism aren't able to experience empathy, and I have found that to be untrue for myself and for some others, but I guess it is a case by case thing. Like, some people experience empathy and others don't. Unfortunately, I am highly empathetic, and there have been times when the baby cries and then that makes me cry, and especially, like, if I can't figure out what he wants. Like, I know what he's feeling, I can feel what he's feeling, but I can't decipher what he wants. And then I just am like, this is very frustrating. Only I don't have words, so I just start crying. And usually someone else is in the room and they can take over. Before we brought him home, Loki had said that the only thing that was wrong with my parenting is that I lacked confidence in myself, and now I'm a little bit more confident. Like, I know that if I pick him up and rock him and sing to him, he will probably calm down. I've noticed that he will calm down if I enter the room and greet him. He smiles and holds his arms out to me in the morning, so I no longer have that feeling of, does he know that I'm his mother? Did he forget about me? I no longer have that feeling of, oh, well, he just likes his dad better than me. I mean, he prefers to have us both in the room with him. There have been times when he'll start crying and then his dad isn't there to pick him up, and so he'll just continue to be upset, because what used to happen is I used to cuddle him, and then the second he got fussy, I'd just hand him over to Loki. So that's what he got used to. But the past couple of days, I've been the one stepping in and calming him down more, because I want more practice. And I've actually been able to successfully calm him down. I'm really happy about that. As far as work goes, I actually do think I've been overextending myself a bit. I didn't see on the calendar about performance reviews, so I've been thinking that we were going to have them in December, but I guess not. I don't know. I actually am afraid to find out how poorly I've been performing in the past 5 months, because I went back to work too early and I'm burning out. And, like, I live close enough that, like, if they say be here at 12, I should be able to be there at 12, but there's a lot of times when, because I'll wake up and then I'll have to make food or shower or, wash off lidocaine off my back and then pump, and then make sure that the baby's next couple of meals are sorted out, and then, get dressed and go to work in that order. So I won't, be there until 12:30, and, Loki he's meant well. He's let me sleep in, but I didn't really want to sleep in, and I had actually told him, this morning, for example, I said, please wake me up. Or last night I told him that this morning, wake me up for the 5 a.m. pump, because I don't want to miss pump time. He let me sleep in. I slept in until 11 or 11:30, and I was just a little bit grumpy about that, and he apologized, but I don't know. At least I'm not getting up at 8 in the morning to make it to work at 10 anymore. Although maybe I should start again, getting up a couple of hours before I have to go to work, just because there's so much to do, and I'm just always tired. I'll come home and I'm tired. I'll see the dishes in the sink and I'm tired. Laundry. Loki did the laundry. He does the laundry, but I think the washing machines and dryers were underperforming this time, or the load was too big or something, because it's not done the way that I would like it done. And he mentioned he had to run the washer twice, so I might want to do the next load of laundry. And But just on the other hand, just thank God for Loki, because I know that for a while I was looking at doing this alone. I would not want to do this alone. By the way, if I repeat anything during these vlogs, and like I've said it before 100 times in other vlogs, it's because I just don't remember. Yeah. I don't know if I'm ever going to get my previous brain function back, but hormones have messed with my memory and messed with my brain capacity. And like, I've gotten so much feedback on some of my work. Like every day I have a new email with constructive feedback, and I'm so stressed out. But it's a very small firm, and even though I was one of the best workers, I don't want to be replaced. And also, like, I'm in CalWorks right now, and what CalWorks does is they force one of the parents to work like 35 hours in a month in order to, or is it a week? I think it's a week. Forces one of the parents to work 35 hours a week in order to continue receiving benefits. And I'm kind of like trying to hoard as much as I can, because we had to spend a whole lot on the car. Like, we had to get insurance and registration. Insurance we had to get like on the spot because we were in a mild auto accident. Like, no injuries, no one was harmed, neither of the vehicles were harmed either. But I got insurance on the spot, and I paid up front for 6 months, so that was a lot. And then the registration was also a lot. Like, it was more than we wanted to spend. Like, we had almost had enough to the point where I would have felt comfortable trying to open a CD for the baby's benefit, but no, we unfortunately ended up spending it down. And I'll be really grateful if we do get another stimulus. Like, I see people on the internet complaining about how it's only $600. Like, yeah, okay, that's not a lot of money, but on the other hand, it's more than $0. And I just think people need to be a little bit more grateful for what we're being given. And, you know, I still have a job. I don't want to lose my job, obviously, like I said. And I have like a side job working for my friend's Etsy shop as a supplier, and she pays me when she can. But her, like, we live in different states, and her wage, I think, is a little lower than mine, but I think she also works more hours. But either way, I don't want to take advantage of her, so I asked for a pretty low amount. I don't really want to ask her for more than that, although she's getting me a knitting machine for Christmas, so I'm grateful for that. But the more you complain, the more that nothing's gonna seem like enough. I have so many people who are helping me for the sake of myself, but also for the sake of the baby. I think mostly me having the baby is what prompted that, actually, because my mental... everything was kind of a mess before. I just dropped my shampoo bottle. Everything in my life was kind of a mess before. Like, everything was constant drama all the time. And then after I had my baby, I just stopped really caring about anything other than, you know, working and taking care of my baby. And so people have blessed us with, you know, provisions, with things that we've needed. And the more that I recognize how blessed we are, the more blessings keep coming to us. Like, we had a voluntary CPS case open to just help me adjust to parenthood, just because I had really bad postpartum. And anyway, my social worker got us a $100 Target gift card and $90 in Amazon gift cards, along with some kind of luxury items that I'd requested, which I think I posted in the previous video, that, like, I got a gaming keyboard, for example, and, like, then the Nurse Family Partnership had given us a baby playset for, like, 0 to 36 months. So it's going to be good until he's 3 years old, right? And it was something that I actually considered buying for him, so I know how much it costs. And so basically, these agencies have spent a lot of money on us, and I've recognized that, and so the more I recognize it, the more blessings keep coming to us. And even, my gratitude journal, like I'll write down, it comes with writing prompts, so I'll write down, whatever things that I'm grateful for that it's prompting me to, and then I'll feel grateful, and then the next day something really good will happen. Versus before, when everything in my life was drama, or maybe not everything was drama, but I recognized a lot of drama, and then a lot of drama kept coming to me. And yeah, sure, some drama has happened, like that chick who tried to get me to falsify evidence, but then I pretty much just ignored that. Like, yeah, I texted her to find out more information, and then after that, I was like, seems really shady, so I'm not gonna do that. So I ignored it, and so nothing really happened with that, thankfully. And then, the point that I was trying to make is that I feel a lot better than I used to, just mentally. I did have to fire my therapist, unfortunately, but things happen, I guess. Besides, one of my friends is messaging me. Besides, I can just kind of process my emotions with the help of my friends through some of our mutual projects and such. The therapist, I felt really awkward talking to her, and I felt like a little overscheduled, and also she didn't really, she got my name wrong, and that's like a huge thing for me that I hate. So yeah, and she was completely unapologetic about it, which is why I fired her. But yeah, at one point in my life, I had an inheritance of $40,000 from my paternal grandfather, and I remember at the time I was like, this isn't really a lot. Like, it was more than I'd ever had, but it's like I was just kind of flailing around in life, kind of just doing whatever, and that was a high drama point in my life. And the money didn't last long. Like, it lasted a couple of years, and while that money still probably wouldn't last all that long now, I actually feel richer now than I did when I had that, because I have better friends. I have friends who, like, if I did have the means to pay their rent for a month, they'd be grateful about it instead of screaming at me for using the wrong, I had sent, I guess, the wrong kind of payment or something like that. She still got it paid, but still. Or, that was one example. Or, taking someone else out to dinner every week or so, and then she just, pretty much just let her life fall to pieces because she knew I'd be there to pick them up, and completely took advantage, and, stuff like that. So that's actually part of why the money didn't last long. But now it's like I have a lot of friends and a lot of services who are doing a lot for my family, and I feel a lot better. Like, I would, of course, like to have a higher income than I did, but on the other hand, asking for a raise with how badly I've been performing, not sure it's gonna happen. But, mostly we're doing well, and I'm in a lot better place than I was, 10 years ago, when when I had that inheritance. I actually had it, 8 years ago, I think. 9 years. Doesn't matter. Anyway, things are better, and people around me are better, and I'm really glad, and I'm hoping that my son has a good life. And that's kind of all I wanted to say for now. If I remember more later, I'll, of course, pitch in a bit more, but cheers.